Hey guys, Tisha here, and we are back for our first one-on-one of season 18. I actually enjoyed this episode, even though I found myself being extremely ticked off. I didn't hate it. I feel like we did learn some things, and that the wives seem to be coming from more of a transparent place than they had in previous seasons. I still do believe that they are holding back, but I'm appreciating that it's not just Christine telling us things, that we have Janelle telling us things, and even Mary telling us some things. So we begin the episode seeing the family getting ready for this one-on-one. And we know that they're going to talk about all the different things that they feel, about how some of them are anxious, some of them are nervous, but they are ready for it. Suki asks them, if this were a variety show, what would the theme music be? And we hear from Christine that it would be, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Janelle says, we will rock you. Mary, all the single ladies. And Cody says, losing my religion. He said, even though, people may think it's about religion, it's not. It's really about unrequited love. And he feels like in this season of life, he's realizing that you can find faith and still lose your religion. Cody claims to Suki that he's not in as bad as a place as he was the last time that they saw each other, and that he isn't as angry as he was before. Yet we're going to see clearly that there are times in this episode where he tells us things like he never loved these women. So I want to know, is that the truth or is that his anger? Something about the family made Cody wonder what a real marriage is like. He said that his marriage with Robin kind of changed things for him. I don't understand why he had a dilemma of what marriage would be like, because once he found the bird and the bald eagle and the bird became one, there was no longer a dilemma. It was clear that he knew what marriage was like. He said that he thinks a lot about the past and wonders if because he was so eager to become a part of the plural lifestyle that he wasn't vetting who he was marrying the way he was supposed to. So he wasn't making sure that he was truly compatible with the women that he was with. This goes back to me saying that it wasn't the women's fault, it was Cody. Because I don't think that Cody was as strong in his faith as he appeared to be to these ladies. I think that all of these ladies went into this thing marrying a dream. He did a lot of things because it was what he was taught. He learned the vernacular. He learned that this is what he was supposed to be doing. And as I said in previous episodes, I feel like Cody felt like this was a way for him to get with his father, or to bond with his father, have something in common. Because before he went on his missions trip, was he really thinking about being a part of this polygamous lifestyle? I feel like if you're marrying someone for eternity, the least thing you could do is start out in love. And that's not what he did. This is the same man in previous seasons who told us that he only married for love, but he didn't marry for love now. At least that's what he's saying. He's saying that he was not in love with any of the wives now, with the exception of Robin. So first it was Christine. The book said it was Janelle. Now he's saying also Mary is included in that number. I just don't know what to believe when it comes to Cody. I just feel like, I don't know. I don't know how to take Cody. Cody said that for polygamy, it was about the growing family. Like, that's how he took his relationships with his wives, that he wanted it to be about the family, and that he never suffered from a fit of passion, which I don't understand what that means, but he never suffered from a fit of passion with anyone else but Robin. He says that he fell in love with her. He never fell in love with anyone else. He said, I was just choosing to be in that covenant of love with them, which it's like Cody, like, he contradicted himself so much that my notes don't even make sense. I'm sitting here looking like, oh, I should have read this thoroughly because I'm confused by my notes. Janelle says that she loved him, but she really does feel like she was in love with the idea of him. She thought that they had a love connection, and she felt that over time it evolved, but they both changed. So it's not fair for Cody to sit there and say that what he had with Robin was so different, because when he met Robin, it was a completely different time in his life. They weren't the same people that they were when he met the other, original three wives. And that particular time was a significantly different period in their life. Whether Janelle wants to say it or not, Cody never looked at any of the wives the way that he looked at Robin. So she's saying all of this still somewhat being, she's right in some of it, but I still feel like she's also still being a little politically correct, because she still kind of protects Cody. Like, girl, just say that the man didn't see it for you the way he saw it for Robin. He tells us that Robin, unlike the wives, provided a safety and a vulnerability for him that he never experienced in his life. He said that he was so happy and so joyous because he never experienced this feeling that he wept for months about it. I do believe that in this moment, this is Cody kind of being honest, maybe not about the weeping as long as he did, but I do believe that he felt something different for her that really excited him, because he seemed more excited in her presence. Like the way he approached Robin versus how he approached his wives. And I understand it was a different time in their lives, but he very much so seemed to be on that honeymoon stage for a long time with her, which was what she said was going to happen. I do not feel like Cody was ever truly in love with any of this woman, despite what he says in the book, despite what he has said in previous seasons, despite him even in this episode telling us he had periods where he felt like he was falling in love with him. I don't think Cody ever loved them, because as I said before, love is not supposed to be conditional. And because he loved Robin, she got the ideal version of Cody. He said that he had to work for years with the other wives for the type of click that he got with Robin, and that he couldn't just, for example, go to Janelle and say to Janelle, like, you aren't being vulnerable with me. But that's not Janelle's problem. That's a Cody problem. Because here's the thing. Cody's acting like he couldn't be vulnerable with any of his wives. But I do believe that it's something that Cody chose not to do. Because let's be clear. You have instances where Christine was being extremely vulnerable with Cody, and Cody did not care. He did not empathize with her. He did not try to take any of her feelings into consideration. It was just like okay, well, it doesn't matter to me type of thing. So seeing that and then knowing where they are now, it's like, okay, come on, Cody. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like you couldn't be vulnerable with your wives. Did she make you feel like she was a place where you can just rest and relax and just be yourself? I do feel like she provided that for you, but it's because you never showed your wives previously who you were. I don't think Cody knew. He said that he struggled with communicating with his wives, and he struggled with the criticism. In his words, it was a constant civil war. I feel like Cody didn't speak to his wives about certain things because, unlike Robin, his wives didn't coddle him, and his wives showed him opposition. And Cody doesn't respond well to opposition. If you aren't loyal, like Robin has been, or if you haven't learned how to speak for Cody like Robin has, then it's not going to work. Robin says that she did not know that he felt this way about, the vulnerability and stuff like that until recently. That hearing that one of the reasons why Cody fell in love with her was because he was able to be vulnerable was shocking to her. She also said that she doesn't know whether she can trust some of the things that he's saying because there's a lot of rewriting of history going on. And I actually, for the first time ever, was impressed with Robin that she admitted that. Now, I don't know if she was saying that it was just him rewriting history or she was saying that the whole family was rewriting history, but I kind of took it as him because in this moment we were talking about Cody. The bird then tells us that she did her best to suppress and hide her relationship and the connection that she had with Cody. I feel like that the both of them are full of crap because the connection at no point was hidden. Maybe they weren't as touchy-feely. Maybe there's some instances where they wanted to do things in public that they may not have necessarily done because the other wives were around. But it was evident from very early on that there was a different type of love there. Christine said that when Robin came into the family, they were already struggling, her and Cody. And that she's the one who saw before the other wives that Cody was in love. And she even said to him while he was getting ready, because of how giddy and all that stuff he was, that you're in love with her. And she said, he said it out loud like multiple times, being really excited that yes, he's in love. Yes, he's in love. And this was in their courting phase before they got married while he was getting ready to take her on a date. This woman came into the family at a time when it seems like none of the relationships were right, maybe with the exception of Janelle's, but even then there was some cracks there. So Cody found a hiding place in Robin. Cody says that for the most part, he didn't even see a lot of the problems that they were having because Cody wasn't listening to his wives. But when he fell in love with Robin, that it kind of made some things come to the surface and that Robin was his first time really being in love. And he says it's no one's fault. But I don't agree with that because I do not feel like you should go into marriage with anyone that you are not in love with. I've heard them talk about this spiritual witness, but my question is, does the spiritual witness part not include love? Because I feel like it needs to include being in love. To expect these women to work harder, according to Cody, to gain love is ridiculous to me. Because he's saying that he struggled because they didn't have passionate love, but was he really putting forth effort to have that passionate love? We see how he gaslit Mary and he made Mary think that there were going to be instances where they can reconnect if she did A, B, C, D, and E, and she would do it and nothing would change. So I don't believe Cody in this conversation. Mary says that he's happy with Robin and that they have a soul connection. But it's unfortunate that the other family was left by the wayside because of this. I agree with Mary. She said that he has the capacity to love them all, but he doesn't, which shows the bigger problem here. Cody stopped putting in the work. We've heard this from Christine. We're hearing it from Mary, and we're also going to hear it from Janelle because Janelle has said it too. Christine said that she was the first to say that Cody met his soulmate. She saw it. She saw how different they were. And she said that, honestly, she cannot say that whether Robin was there or not, that they were great because outside of Robin, they weren't great. She said with Robin, she saw a real marriage. She saw what could be. And she noticed it because he was doing things with her and acting towards her in a way that he was not doing with everyone else. She said she hadn't seen that previously done. Janelle feels that the relationship that Cody had with Christine was very hard from the very beginning. As a result, he kind of pulled away from being a plural husband. I feel like if you saw that from very early on, why was this not something that was dealt with? It's like they saw these problems, but they really didn't have each other's backs. It only worked, and according to Janelle, their whole setup would only work if both the wives and the children were willing to conform to the way that he's thinking. He's only focused on the one that he adores and the one that he had a bigger affinity for, which is Robin. It's very true. And I really wish that Janelle said these things earlier, because if she had said the same exact statement prior to Christine announcing the fact that she wanted to leave, prior to them even relocating to Flagstaff, I feel like Cody might at some point have received just a little bit of this, maybe not the whole thing, but he may have acknowledged the truth in this. But now, because of where he stands with all of these women, the only person that he would probably hear it from, and she's never going to say that because she doesn't want to admit that, is the bird. Currently, Cody does not know where he stands with Janelle. He says he's interested, but she keeps saying she isn't. But he has to admit that he's done nothing to work on things. He doesn't want to sit down with Janelle and talk about his children, because he said that turns into discussing everyone else's grievances and then gossiping. And I'm like, okay, at this point, she's still your wife. When does talking about concerns turn into, oh, they're gossiping? Cody does not like opposition, and Cody has really messed up his family. And because he's not willing to do the work to fix this, this will continue to be a problem. Cody says that he has spent the past 2 years watching and seeing Christine and Janelle talk about him without him. And I'm like, okay, this is nothing new. Yes, Christine and Janelle have talked about Cody, but Cody has talked about Janelle. Cody has talked about Christine. Cody has talked about Mary. The only person he has not spoken about is the bird, is Robin, is the weeping one, is the sobbing one, is the Robum, is the poor person who's very unsafe in a lot of these dynamics, is the queen of the pack. She's the only one that you have not spoken poorly about. And then not only that, we've seen Mary and Robin in previous years have conversations about Cody. So what is the difference? Seriously, why do different rules apply to different wives? He says that the wives are now talking trash about him because he's guilty of not loving them. And that's not why they're talking about him. They're talking about him because this is what's currently going on in their life. They're talking about him because, unfortunately, they have children with him. And whether they like it or not, their involvement or lack thereof does affect these kids, even these grown kids, because we're seeing how sad they are about their father not being an active participant in their lives. They are talking because they've spent 18 seasons, some of them, we'll say like 16 for others, defending Cody and protecting this man and his BS. And now they no longer desire to do it. After 18 seasons, we are finally seeing the things that they try to sweep under the rug. And they're not holding back as much, and they're living in their truth. And some part of that has to be freeing. There's a reason why when we see Christine, that Christine looks lighter. It's because she is. She's not having to deal with this man and this foolishness, and she doesn't have this constant drain, which is Cody. Suki said, "Are you guilty of not loving them enough to help the relationship?" And Cody says, "No, I'm guilty of not being in love with them." What is the difference? Because at this point, it's semantics. I think that if he says that he loves them, he thinks that it means something, like it absolves him from how he's treated these wives. But the point is that you do not love them and you have not tried with them. He then, after her saying this, says, "Well, I'm at a place now where I do want to be romantic with Janelle." And I'm thinking, okay, you want to be romantic with Janelle because the bird is telling you that you need to try to work things out. And in previous years, it seems that you all have a romantic spark, and if you get in bed with her, then maybe you can pull her back in. Because you already let us know in the season finale that you're willing to act the part in order to obtain certain things. You said that for Mary, but I feel that that's been the thing for all of these wives. I think Cody's been acting since he met Robin. He then brings up Christine and saying that Christine wanted to be romantically involved with him, and she wanted romantic love from him, but he didn't want it. And I said, this guy will do anything to bring up Christine. At this point in time, we're not even talking about Christine, yet he's mentioning her. And I appreciated the fact that Suki was like, okay, let's focus on Janelle. Let's bring it back to Janelle. We then see the clip of this argument with Janelle for the umpteenth time, and we see the wives' reaction. And you can tell that Christine is very shocked because Janelle did not tell her just how bad this was, even though he thinks that they talk about everything. There are certain things that Janelle still does not tell Christine. And I'm sitting here like seeing this, seeing how bad this is. How can you not call him out? Seriously. How can you not, as the host, really call him out for this behavior? Cody says that this whole argument happened because of that little Christmas brown, the little Charlie Brown looking tree that was in her home. That's what triggered him, according to him. A tree. That's an excuse. Her calling him out on national television is truly what triggered Cody. She said some things that Cody didn't want her to say, and she revealed some things that Cody didn't want to discuss. And Cody can't handle confrontation, opposition, being called out on his BS. So he got upset. He said he has contempt for how he's been treated. They trash talk him. He might not be in love, but he was making an effort. He doesn't feel accountable for emotion that wasn't there. And that's the problem. Cody is always trying to make an excuse. I don't understand why TLC continues to let Cody get away with this poop emoji. I really don't, because in these instances, here's the perfect time for you all to show us times where Cody has contradicted himself, but y'all don't do it. This dirtbag doesn't deserve another dime. We don't want to see him. Reduce his funds, please. Cody claims that they fought like this before, but Janelle says it's never been like this. Janelle says she couldn't even express herself, and when she tried to, he wouldn't let her. All that finger pointing set her off. He always complains about everyone else, but he never self-reflects. And as she's saying this, without Mary seeing Janelle said this, Mary says the same sentiments, that basically Cody needs to do some self-reflection, because there's a lot of times where Cody doesn't see where he's wrong in a situation. The Bird says that when he saw that Christmas tree, that he realized that she was taking over to the rental and spending time with Christine, and that really upset him. So we're just going to leave out the part where Janelle invited him to the rental. We're also going to leave out the part that you did not want their children at your home. As the interviewer, why does Suki not say these things? Suki, do you not watch? As editors, why doesn't TLC show, whoever the production company that they use, why aren't you showing us these things and showing it in front of them so we can see their reaction to the things that they said? Because what Cody and the Bird have a tendency to do is they say things and then they act like, okay, we didn't say this thing. The Bird felt it was a trigger because Christine left him and Janelle did not support Cody. She was supporting and siding with Christine. This sounds verbatim like something that Cody would say. Cody said she never expressed empathy for him with the breakup with Christine, and she sided with Christine. Why would she express empathy when you just told us that you didn't love her, when you just told us that you didn't want to be romantically involved with her? Does this fool think that we do not watch the show? Does he think that we didn't just hear what he said? Does he think that they're going to edit that part out? Does he think that we forgot how unhappy he said he was for all those years, and how if Christine wanted to, she could stay in the area without them being married? But you can't understand why Janelle wasn't empathetic. She wasn't empathetic because she felt like she didn't need to be. Why would she need to be there for someone who was in a loveless marriage, who was with a person that he didn't want to be with? He should have been happy in that moment. But Cody was sad because money was coming out of the family. Cody was sad because he knew that she was the glue. But it was too much for him to say that. Instead, he tried to make it seem like Christine took all the kids and made them pick sides, when Cody is the one who isolated himself and who removed himself from these kids' lives. So I can completely understand why Janelle wouldn't have done those things. Given that Janelle has witnessed the way that he's treated both Mary and Christine over the years, and the previous discussions that they probably had about, Christine, why would she say anything? Why would she coddle him? Cody is a walking contradiction. He says with the lack of support from Janelle that they gradually unwound. And it's just another example of him not taking accountability. Suki asked him if he's jealous because Christine and Janelle are talking to each other. Cody admits to being jealous of the relationship that they form because he had wished they behaved this way for the past 25 years. I said it in yesterday's video that I hate that he uses words like behaving, because these are grown women. These are not your children. They don't have to do everything that you want them to do. There is something in a relationship, in a marriage, called compromise. And if Cody had been willing to do some of that with his other wives and not just Robin, maybe things would have, happened differently. Cody informs us that Christine and Janelle having a good relationship, the one that he's always desired of them, is just a big F you to him. It's like they're going to get along now because it just pisses him off. Christine believes that Cody is jealous of their dynamic. Hold on, you guys. You're going to hear a conversation. Amir, if you have to do something, go ahead and do it, hon. I'm back. That's right. Forget about how beneficial this is to their children, and remember that it's a F you to him. Christine chuckles, saying that this is what jealousy looks like. Christine says now he can see how it feels when two people have a bond. Maybe he's jealous of the bond. Maybe he's jealous of the co-parenting. It sucks that she picked Christine over him because she can talk to her, because they've had their fights and their disagreements. But unlike Cody, they've talked it out. And I said, way to go, Christine, because it's true. You're jealous because these two women have a dynamic, and you wanted these other women who you don't even halfway support, Janelle and Mary, to stick with you the way Robin has in this situation with Christine, when you really weren't hurting. The only thing that bothered you was your ego, because you wanted her to go for years, remember? You felt relieved by her leaving. That's what you said. He said it's an unfair lifestyle, and he never said that it wasn't, but they got to choose. And Cody, so did you. He said that he can't see why they weren't getting closer, that he did not write Janelle off, but he just didn't feel the same kind of devotion to their relationship. I said this before. If you do not operate in the manner that Cody wants you to, if you do not remain loyal to him, then Cody writes you off, whether he'd like to admit it or not. He plays victim. He acts like he's being treated so poorly, but it's just these people are finally taking up for themselves. He then is the ultimate victim again, because he talks about how when he initially found out that he had COVID, that Christine and Janelle were on vacation. He was really sick, and Janelle didn't even care. She was on vacation with Christine. Janelle was already on vacation at this point, and he wasn't seeing her. We know that. And he was barely seeing her kids. And he's complaining because Janelle didn't stop everything that she was doing and come and take care of him. Meanwhile, Cody couldn't even call his child to tell his child happy birthday. He has some nerve. Janelle then says that she was going to tell Christine that she had to leave early to get back to Cody. She said she didn't know whether she needed to call the doctor. She didn't know whether he needed oxygen or any of these things. And as she's saying all of this, that Christine was like floored. And she said that Cody told her, like, don't leave. Right? That's what Cody told her. But we all know that Cody likes to play games. And this was Cody testing Janelle. And Janelle failed the test. And my thing is, I don't even see why this is an issue, because Cody wasn't that sick. Cody was being dramatic. You had COVID. I haven't had it, so I can't speak to what it feels like, but I know people who have, and I did have some losses in my family from it. So whenever Cody talks about this, I get triggered. He's talking about being triggered by a tree. I get triggered by the fact that you're trying to sit here and act like you and Robin on death's bed when Robin went to the ER with a mask on, was still recording, and did not require any oxygen, while you didn't even go to the ER, but you continued to drink tea and lay on the floor and film. How much on death's bed were you that you had time to do that? So let's try again. But we're going to do anything to make ourselves seem like the victim. Janelle says Cody wanted her to show compassion for him almost dying, but she told him that she doesn't feel like that's what this is about, that's just another excuse. We find out that he told her that he wanted her to come home and get some stuff for him. Christine said, I told her, no, you're not going, because all you're going to do is go to the store, buy some stuff, and put it on the doorstep. You're not going to see him. Do we not see how manipulative the bald eagle, the worm, is? That he told his wife, who is on vacation, that she should leave said vacation to drop off things at his doorstep when he had another child. I'm assuming she drives because they have so many vehicles parked out there, Aurora, who wasn't sick, who could have done that. Or let me guess, I don't know, maybe you could have used Walmart Deliver, Postmates, Amazon Deliver service. Like, there's so many different ways now to get delivery service without having to call your wife off of her vacation to come and serve you. It's crazy. They have apps where you can have things delivered at your doorstep. But you wanted her to stop what she was doing because you didn't want her to have fun. Christine was like, when you had COVID, Janelle, Cody wasn't really willing to take care of you. And he wasn't. If y'all remember, he didn't come over there. He didn't drop anything off. He hardly checked on her. Janelle said it was her boys and her suffering together. So why did he expect so much of this woman? Because it was another one of his tests, because everything is a game. And it was another thing that he was going to use against her like he did now, because this didn't have anything to do with anything we were discussing. Suki says, once you felt betrayed about her backing up Christine and her not backing you up with the kids, how easy would it have been for you to say, all right, I'm still going to show up for my kids. I'm still going to come to Christmas and all of that. Now, rather than answering the question, what he says is he feels like personally they're trying to blame Robin. What way does that answer what was asked of you? And I wish Suki would have kind of stepped on his neck with that. He says the kids are estranged. And Janelle has been saying that Robin is this broken dove that Cody has to protect from all the a-holes. And yes, I do. I do have to protect her. Robin is the only one that matters to Cody. His own children do not matter. And when they see this, I want to know how this is supposed to make them feel. He said they've been a-holes to him, but they've been a-holes to her too. And it's okay to be that way to him, but not to her. So you haven't been a-holes to your children and your wives? You've actually been worse than that. You've been a deadbeat. He said that he didn't want them separating him and Robin from one another. Where he goes, she goes. And that there's a lot of bullying in the family that he doesn't want to put up with it anymore. And I wish these mofos would stop using words that do not apply to them. Somebody tell me how Robin and her children were bullied, because that's not what he's talking about. Even though we do know that kids are going to be kids, and at points the siblings did pick on each other. We've seen it in the earlier episodes. It wasn't anything that doesn't happen sometimes in families. But to label it as bullying? Despite everything that Cody told us, Robin says that if Janelle were to extend an invite to come, she would go. I don't believe this, because the bird is the same person who didn't even allow her children to go on the gender reveal for McKelty, her favorite child from the other mom's kids. So why would you do that? She wouldn't even allow those kids at her home. They didn't even want Mary to invite over the kids to her house for Christmas Eve, even though this is supposed to be a tradition. Yet we're supposed to believe that you would go to Janelle's house. It's lies. She said she would have gone and that she would have felt safe if they were invited. Meanwhile, Cody is saying that he didn't feel like it would be a safe space because the boys keep blaming her for stuff. And once again, there goes another one of those words that they use that does not apply. She says she kept thinking that at some point Cody and them will work it out. I don't understand how, because you don't even encourage Cody to work things out with them. You continue to be a problem even though you use the right language to make it seem like you care and you got your kids fooled. You don't have us fooled. Suki says that he feels like he's protecting you from them. And she says, as any husband would, but I didn't tell him that I wanted an apology from the boys. I didn't ask for one. I didn't expect it. I didn't need it. And I feel like your actions said otherwise, because you said on more than one occasion how the boys kept blaming you and all this other stuff. And I think even though Cody tries to say it's him, I do believe that it was Robin and Cody. I believe it was more so Robin, because she did seem to be the more fearful one in the beginning about things. But we've seen Cody do things like this. Has nothing to do with the pandemic. This has to do with life. Janelle said that he still wanted them to make it right, regardless if he's now saying that they didn't have to apologize. And Robin is saying it, even though Robin kind of did change his mind a little bit, that he still wanted something from the boys. He then lets us know that he walked out on Janelle because he's tired of being undermined and she can't keep treating him like this. And Janelle and him both see little value in the relationship, and that's why they haven't made it right. He then brings up Christine again because everything is about Christine, and he's really bothered by the fact that Christine has done well for herself since leaving, because he brings up Christine even when it doesn't have anything to do with Christine. saying that he also walked out because Janelle rather work on stuff with Christine than work on things with him. Well, if you keep walking out on her when she's trying to work out things with you, why is she going to keep putting forth effort? You don't want to talk about those things. You haven't even taken her up on the whole therapy thing. Robin said, I kept saying that you have 6 kids and all these years are worth fighting for. She wants that money, honey. So after seeing that clip of how your husband was in her face, after Robin saw how the bald eagle was pointing at her and was cutting her off and was being argumentative and was acting like a child, and seeing her, Janelle, say F him, and seeing her grab him and them yelling at each other, you don't think that there's anything wrong with this and that they need more than what you're suggesting? Like, come on now. If you really care about this woman, you wouldn't want that for her. Janelle said that she was relieved after the fight and that she feels like she no longer had the burden of putting forth effort in the relationship. I want Janelle to leave. They then talk about how it was 2 months from the fight until that they finally spoke and reached out to each other. And Suki talks about how the interaction with the two of them was very different than what happened with Christine. And I don't think that Suki should have compared that, because Janelle still has one foot in the door. She's saying all of these things, but Janelle very much so still has one foot in the door, whereas Christine was actually gone and Christine was actually leaving, and Christine said divorce. Janelle said separation. Janelle talks about how they had a different, their marriage is very different from what him and Christine went through, that they had all aspects of their marriage. So Christine was lacking in a lot of areas then, if she's saying that they had all aspects of their marriage. Janelle says for her, more than anything, she wanted that emotional connection. And he claims to feel that that's not what Janelle wanted, that Janelle wanted him because he was this physical specimen and a resource, and that she never dove into his humanity. You can't make this crap up. He said he felt like a pool boy and a piece of meat. And I just have to say, they said something completely different in the book. They both admitted to being attracted to each other's minds. So how do we go from being attracted to each other's minds to now, oh, well, she just really wanted me because of my body? You didn't have a body back then. According to Janelle. I wouldn't know. I don't know what's under anybody's clothes. You all let me know your thoughts down below. If there's anything that I did not cover, because there was a lot to this, I will be more than willing to talk about it in the comments section. Also, I know that I'm going to be doing another Say What? Okay, I'm going to be doing another Say What. I said it. I'm going to be doing another one probably on this episode, and probably off of some of the comments that you all leave down below. So if there's something that you want to talk about, put it down there, because I might use it. Also, thank you to the 430 something of you who have subscribed. I really appreciate it. I am on the road to 1,000. I really would like for this to happen sooner than later, especially the way life has been life. And y'all, if I tell you about the day that I had with not just my car, but my mother's car, and how, you know, I'm not going to be going to work tomorrow because the car is going to have to be towed, and cross your fingers with me that it's just an alternator or a starter, because I changed the battery and it's not that. So I say all this to say, thumbs up, comments, and subscribe if you have not already, because it does help the channel and I do really appreciate it. And even if you haven't subscribed yet because you just don't feel like, you know, I've earned it, still keep watching, because that helps me get out there too. Until next time.